Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? It is so glad to be back with all of you. Um, yes, I've been gone for a few weeks after the Christmas Bash giveaway. A lot of stuff happened, and unfortunately, well, as you all know, I didn't have hardly any content coming out, and my live streams. We had some stuff going on with the family. My wife ended up getting the bug, if you know what I'm saying. And I was out of work and I had to take care of my wife and my mother in law. Hit my wife pretty good. She was down for almost 3 days. And so that was a mess. And then with work, it was just chaotic with Christmas and everything else. And the weekends got here and was just totally exhausted. It's a tough time of year. December is a bad month for me. Um, but it's amazing how quick the YouTube algorithm just drops you right off of the map. So I need everybody's help. If you would, just help try sharing some of the videos and with your friends and family if you can, and get that out there. And we got to get rolling back together here. On a good note, the website is all done, and you can find that in the description link on my channel. If you go into on my main page, if you go in there on About and you scroll down, you're going to see everything. You're going to see podcasts. You're going to see the web page. You're going to see everything is right there. It's all listed right there. You can only put so many things on your main page on the front, right up there in the corner. So yeah, that's what's been going on. So I'd like to see who is all here. I'd like to thank everybody for joining in. Um, please give me a number one if everybody can hear me. I guess I should have started with that one first. I hope that everybody can hear me loud and clear, and hope everybody is had a wonderful holiday. Hope you got to spend time with your friends, your family, and everything else throughout the Christmas, New Year. And all right, I see number one's popping up there. Thank you. Thank you so much. Um, I'd like to also welcome everybody that's here from Facebook and YouTube. I do see that all my moderators are here. We have Jan and JT and Coffee First and Speak. Lefty Lisa's here. How you doing? Blue Ridge Survival Preparedness. How you doing? K Paul's here. Let me see who else is here. Rockamas, how you doing? Hope you had a wonderful holiday. Nikki's here. White Hammer. Pitbull's here. Thank you for joining in. S. Glenn 704 is here. Gina, Nadley. Let's see who else is here. Dee's Crafts is here. White Hammer. Papa's Farm. Brandon R. Rebecca. I just jumped again. Missy 101472 is here. Thank you for joining in tonight. Lisa Z's here. JT is here. Oh, JT, thank you for posting the website. I do appreciate that. Mo's here. How you doing, Mo? It's good to see everybody. Meredith Cook is here. Jane's here. I think we did have a new member came in. If I can get back to Florida Rich. Yes, it was Florida Rich. Thank you for being a new member. I really do appreciate that. I'd like to welcome all the members. We are going to be working on getting that all going at this point. There's a lot of stuff that we are going to try to start doing with the members only and things of that nature. And we got to get everything going again on here. And I hope everybody is really prepared. That's my biggest fear with this year. I mean, it's already starting off. It's just chaos. Gas prices. Have you seen the gas prices are all started going back up again? And now they're saying the gas prices by summer will be well over $4 a gallon once again. There's all types of different shortages that have been taking place. I don't know if any of you have been seeing what's been going on with the eggs and all that kind of stuff. A lot of places, a lot of people have sent me pictures and emails. Thank you very much for doing that. If you guys want to send me stuff, please, you can email it right to me, survival preparedness 69 at gmail.com. I really do appreciate it. It helps me see what is going on in real time around the country, around the world, even. But there has been this huge egg shortage going on, especially out west. Uh, People are sending me pictures, and the cases are completely empty. They don't have eggs. In California, they're paying $7 for a dozen eggs right now. That is just highway robbery. That's just ridiculous. I'm going to my local Walmart tomorrow morning to see what is going on here. And I'll be doing a video on that. And it'll be coming out this week. And I do have my Walmart video coming out tomorrow. I got a lot of news on Walmart. There's a lot of things that are going on there. We also have, I don't know if you all are aware of some of the situations that are taking place with a lot of the store closures. Not in Walmart per se, but Walmart may be having some store closures. You'll have to watch the video tomorrow for that one. But all the other retail stores, Sears announced that it's closing all its stores. There's a ton of retailers that are closing up shop. They're closing up stores, and it's a scary time right now. The analysts have come out and said from the Feds that, one, they're going to be raising interest rates again. Two, they expect by summer that there will be 2.5 million people out of work because of two things: a lot of these store closures. And also, you have to realize, the next time the job reports and stuff do come out, that's going to be based on all the help that was hired by all these different companies for the Christmas season, which they do every single year. But that's going to compound into all these numbers and stuff. And with the high inflation, with the recession that we're in, whether I know they say we're not in one, but come on, folks, put two and two together. We have to be really aware of what is taking place. We have the war that's still going on. We're forking out money left and right. Hopefully, maybe, with the Republicans having the House, they will be able to get the spending under control and also get the border under control. Now, how far it's really going to go, we don't know yet. We just finally got a Speaker of the House, last night at 1 a.m, which was just ridiculous what they were doing there. I totally disagree with that. A lot of Republicans were totally against that. Hannity, a lot of these big time Republicans were just like, enough's enough. It just wasn't a good thing. But we have to really take a look at the big picture. That's what I really want to talk about tonight. I'm going to come up with something this week, and the video will be coming out on Thursday. And it's kind of like a challenge, but it's more for a lot of new preppers or people that are really tight on a budget. And I'm going to show you what you can do with $10 a week, and how you can slowly start building a stockpile and having an emergency backup, having some food put away in case Lord only knows what could happen. If we go into a recession, if, the dollar bill is teetering back and forth, the stock market is up and down, nothing is stable right now. Nothing is stable right now, unless you got money to buy gold, or if you want to put your money in silver. That's about it. There is nothing that is really taking place right now that makes any sense. A lot of this stuff, we all probably sit back and just shake our head, because it's like, what are they doing up there in DC? We just forked out another how many billions of dollars to Ukraine for aid. We have thousands of people coming across the border in the South. Um, I mean, somebody's got to be paying for that. And this country is just in turmoil right now. Rent prices, at least here in Florida. Now, you guys can all comment on what your rent prices and stuff are in your area. But down here in Florida, rent prices are just, forget it. People can't afford it. There's just no way. A one-bedroom apartment's running you like between 12 and $1,500 a month, especially if you're going over towards around the Orlando, Kissimmee area where Disney and all that kind of stuff is. The prices, if you want to rent a 3-bedroom home, not an apartment, a home, you're looking at anywhere between 21 and $2,500 a month in rent. And then you got to pay your own utilities and everything else. And people just can't afford it. The prices of food have gone up over 11% year to date, and the prices are still going up. Chicken's still rising. Eggs are out of this control. I did see a report where they said red meat did go down about 1.5%. Big deal, right? So we're all in this. This boat it's just filling up with water here, folks, and we got too many holes in this boat. And until we can start patching some of these holes in this country and start taking back our country and get it back in line with where it really needs to be, the founding principles of this country. We're too divided right now. Everything is a division. And we as preppers, we have to make sure that we are paying attention to these things. And we have to make sure that we are looking out for our families. Now, there was one little video that did come out today. And that video there was, I changed the video for new people coming into the channel. When they click into the channel, the first video they see. And as I said in that video, my main goal is to make sure that people have the knowledge so that they can succeed in being prepared for them and their families. I think that's going to be a very crucial thing this coming year. And we got to get started now, because we have to make sure that we are trying our best. We're trying to get out there. We're trying to do everything that we can do to make life a little bit easier. So I'm going to have a video coming out on Thursday. I'm going to show you what you can get for $10 a week. Now, if you can take that $10 a week, every week, just $10. So maybe that means you don't buy pizza on Saturday night, or maybe you don't buy that 12-pack of beer or that bottle of wine. You have to, it's a give and take at this point in time. It's what they call survival of the fittest. We have to make sure that we're making good quality decisions with our money and what we can do. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. I'm going to post a video every single week on Thursdays. Okay. And 1 month, I'm going to show you what I end up with. All right. On $10 a week. And I want people to understand it is possible, even on a very tight budget. There is something out there that you can probably give up right now in this time of turmoil and chaos that we are living in. We have to make sure that we are doing our part. We have to make sure that what we are doing makes sense, and how we are spending our money. We have to do that very wisely at this point. Now, I'm no money manager or nothing like that, okay? But a lot of this is common sense, all right? Now, a lot of you out there were probably raised like me. It was instilled in us from the time you were born, basically, all right? And nowadays, some of these generations, they don't have that. They don't have the work ethics. They want to get paid, but they don't want to work for it. And they turn around and They don't like using their heads. They like other people making the decisions, or they have to take their phones and Google every little thing to find out how to do something, or, all this kind of stuff. Now, I use Google. I use Google, to do things for research and everything else. I've used Google because, you know what? I didn't want to pay somebody to rebuild my computer. I used Google and I did it myself. You see what I'm saying? I mean, there's certain things that technology is excellent for. And then I think there's other things where technology is just very bad for society in general. A lot of people, they dwell on everything that has to go on social media and everything else. Oh, I see my other moderators here. Cassie, it was nice seeing you. She's coming in from Facebook. And, I mean, we have to really sit back and think about what we are doing with our time. Time is very, very precious. Now, in your time, you may have to go to work. Maybe you work 40 hours a week. Maybe you work more. But then you have your time where you have to start balancing out your time so that in the end, you can turn around and you are allotting time for prepping, allotting time to make your plans as far as things you have, things you may need, and emergency plans, all this different types of stuff, but it all takes time. And you have to have a goal. All right. Your goal is what you're going to be basing a lot of your prepping on. You want to start off with a realistic goal. If you're just beginning right now, you want to start off and you want to say, I want to have 3-week supply of food in my house. Now you can run that as a working pantry. So as you use things, you rotate your stock. It's very simple to do at that point in time because it's a working pantry. So you're running it just like you would a grocery store. The can that's in the front, that's the first one you use. The one in the back is the one that has the furthest out date, and that's the one you just bought. So that's very easy to do. Once you start getting past that 3 months, then it starts getting a little bit more interesting, and it gets a little bit harder. And we have to really think about a few key points in prepping. Number one, your financial situation. Number two, what is your goal? And number three, how are you going to succeed at that goal, being if you have limitations on your financial situation? We, as preppers, have to really always be thinking one step ahead of everything else. We have to try to imagine what is going to be happening in the future, because none of us know what the future holds. We have all these different type of scenarios and all these people that say they are experts and everything else, and they're making predictions. It's a prediction. They can't tell us when it's going to happen. They can't tell us when maybe the bottom's going to fall out of the housing market. They can't tell us when all these jobs that they're quoting that are going to happen, that people are going to lose, when it's going to happen. It's going to start now. Here in another week or so, it's going to start. Because I know the company I work for, in another week, all their Christmas help is done. So you got thousands of people right there. A lot of companies are going to start laying off people. A lot of companies have announced that they are going to be doing layoffs first in their corporate offices, which I think is a very good thing, because most corporate offices are just full of, pork. It's kind of like if, looking at Washington, D.C., you just look at these people and you're like, really? You got elected? How the hell did you get elected? But The thing of it is, as we are going along in this time that we are preparing, we are getting and gathering our supplies as we go along. You have taxes coming back. Now, I know a lot of people, they like to take that tax money and you want to go on a vacation. You want to take that tax money, you want to buy that 65-inch big screen TV. I would really highly suggest to people this year, if you do get taxes back, you may want to really think about how you spend that money. Now, I'm not telling you you can't take some of that money and have a little bit of fun or whatever else. I'm not saying that, because that's not how this works. You can't dedicate every single penny and all your time to prepping. You're going to get burnt out, you're going to go broke, and everything else. You have to space it all out. That's where you're budgeting your time and your finances into this. So let's say you get $1,000 back. All right. Because people are going to start getting their money back. Well, here come pretty soon, you know. And so you get $1,000 back. All right. It's found money. Being that you're not behind on any of your bills, your rent, utilities, car payments, credit cards, any of that type of stuff. Maybe you take $300 or $400 of that. All right. And maybe put it into some of your preps. Now, remember, as I have stated before, the times that we are living in right now, your preps just isn't your food. You really have to take a real good inventory on what you and your family use on a daily basis. I have said this, I'm going to keep saying this because this is so important. There's more to prepping than food and water. All right. Water, you definitely have to have enough of. But there's all these other things, from toothbrushes, toothpaste, there's deodorant, soap, there's laundry detergent, there's cleaning supplies, all different types of stuff. You see what I'm saying here? Paper goods, all this kind of stuff. You got to make sure that you have a decent stockpile of this, because some of the prices on some of these things are going way up. Paper products especially. And a lot of these stores that I talk about in my video tomorrow, I'll give you guys a little hint here of what I'm going to be talking about. But a lot of these stores have started locking up a lot of different products, and you have to go find somebody and get a key. And that's from Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, a lot of different big retailers, because the theft in this country is out of control. Walmart, just as you know, you'll find out tomorrow, but just Walmart is $3 billion a year right now. Theft. Now, there's a lot of things that go into that. A lot of people have their opinions about that and everything else. And I cover that in a video tomorrow. It comes out at noon. But the thing of it is, once we cover the whole pie, all right, because food and water is like half the pie. Now we got all the other kind of stuff, you know, extra pair of shoestrings, extra pair of boots, shoestrings, you know, maybe an extra pair of boots or a pair of shoes. You know, I mean, just having extra of a few of these items and stuff. I'm not telling you have to go crazy here, but you have to think about, what is it that we use a lot of? You know, maybe you make your own soaps, maybe you make your own shampoos, maybe you make your own lotions. A lot of people make their own candles, all this kind of stuff. If this is what you do, then you have to have a backup to that. We have to really get set in the mindset that this 2023 is going to be a tough year. All right. And if we can get in the mindset right off the get-go, right now, and we can start being ready and being prepared, we're going to be one heck of a better off than if we wait 2 or 3 months and everything starts crumbling. A little piece here, a little piece there, and everything else. We don't know how high the prices of this food is going to go. If gas prices go back up to $4 a gallon or more, as these analysts are saying by summer, what do you think the price of diesel fuel is going to be? Because it's still sitting at like $5.35 a gallon here in Florida, at least. Maybe it's less where you are, maybe it's more. But if the gas prices go back up that high, I can guarantee you that diesel prices will be well over $6 a gallon or more. It's a fact. You have truckers that are just barely making any money right at this point in time because a lot of these big, huge companies, they're paying pennies on a dollar for these loads. And these guys have to do something. I mean, by the time that they run the loads, I know a couple of different truckers that used to run long haul, East Coast, West Coast, and back. They don't do that anymore. One of them runs the East Coast, runs from Florida to New York, and New York back to Florida. The other one runs just Florida. He was lucky enough to find a company. He got into that company, and he runs just Florida. He doesn't leave the state of Florida. It's not worth it. As he told me, he was losing money. His credit card bills were going up from putting diesel fuel in there. And when he got paid, there wasn't enough to pay all the bills. So he was running up all his credit cards. So now he took his truck. He hauls for a company, and he hauls from using Miami, Jacksonville. He does those turns, and that's what he does. You know, it's pretty sad where we are going in this country. And a lot of people don't realize what has happened and what is taking place and how this is going to affect you. A lot of people just don't gasp at the same token that, you know, everything is not okay. A lot of people believe everything that they hear on the TV, and you can't do that. Yes, you can listen to it, but you don't believe it. You have to do your own homework. That's what I do a lot. You know, if somebody reports something, I'll be like, that sounds a little weird, or, you know, it doesn't sound right. And I'll start doing a little bit of digging. And you see that they left out a little bit of something here or there. You never get the full true story, if you know what I'm saying. You know, if you want the full true story, you have to basically go and find it for yourself. It's pretty sad where our news media has gone, you know, and they only talk about the things that they think we should know. That I don't agree with. You know, they all preach that they want free speech, but they don't want to give us the free speech. And that's what hurts a lot of the public because they're not getting told the whole story. And that's where it falls back to, as a prepper, it is our job right now at the beginning of this year, because I'm telling you folks, this year ain't going to be fun. It's not going to be fun at all. And you got to start making the plans now in order for you to be prepared later. You have to really start digging in. You have to make a commitment. You know how everybody has all these New Year's resolutions? Well, funny fact, most of these New Year's resolutions that are made, 87% of them are usually done and over with by February 1st. There is only 13% that carry it on until towards most of the year. So do the math on, you know, all the people that live here and how many people that is. But if you can make a commitment to being prepared, it's not like you're making a commitment to, you're going to go out and spend $500 on this gym equipment. Oh yeah, you're working out first week, man. You're balls to the wall. Yep, you got it. Second week, oh man, I'm a little tired. You know, now you just drop down to doing it like 3 or 4 days a week. By the third week, you're down to 3 days a week. By the end of the month, you're doing it like once a week and you're hanging your clothes on it. And you spent $400 on the machine. You see what I'm saying, folks? That's where you got to really spend the money where you're going to benefit the most out of what you are doing and what you are spending your money on. We, as preppers, need to be prepping for our families. We need to make sure that, number one, I believe if you're going to be starting right now, you're starting with food. And you're going to start working on that stockpile. And then once you get that 3 weeks worth of food, then you can turn around and start looking at the other products. Now you got to make sure that you have water. All right. As long as the water is running in your home, you're good. If the water starts running, what are you going to do? Do you have any backup whatsoever? Or if the power goes out, there's been situations where if the power goes out, people that live in the country, you do not have water because your well does not work. Unless you have a generator that you can fire up to run either your house or to run, say, certain things in your home. Water would be the number one thing. And so you want to run your pump and maybe your hot water heater and this type of things. Yes, that is a big expense for a lot of people to undertake. But you have to ask yourself, how many times is it that you're out of power? You know, we have to really sit back and think about what your priorities are. Your food is going to be first, and water. Food and water, you got to start stockpiling. You can buy the cases of water, bottled water, however you want to do it, as long as you have something to fall back on. Now, if it's in a plastic jug, whether it's like, like a milk carton, or if it's a bottled water, it's good for 6 to 8 months. It all depends on how you store it. If you live in a warm climate like I do, you got to be very careful where you store that. And I would not store it where there's light if you can get away with it. Do not store it in your garage. If you have, high heat or real cold temperatures, you don't want it to freeze because it'll burst. You don't want it to get real hot because it's not really good for it. So, because then it starts breaking down the chemicals in the plastic, and that's a whole nother thing. But if you can store it in a room, a closet, or something that stays relatively the same temperature, doesn't fluctuate too much, it's pretty cool, no light, you can get a little bit longer out of that water. Another thing that you could also do is have some way to purify water. And you can buy a Sawyer Mini very cheap on Amazon. You can go right to my Amazon storefront. I mean, I have all this kind of stuff right in there that you can purchase. And it's very inexpensive. Less than $40. And that's getting you the Sawyer Mini. That's getting you a gallon water jug that everything ties to and the whole 9 yards. And you're set to go. The thing with the Sawyer Mini is you just can't let it freeze if you live in the north. So if you have to go out and gather water and you're going to be filtering that water, you cannot let that filter freeze. If the filter freezes, you're screwed. You lost it. It's no good. So that's something that you have to be aware of when you're using the Sawyer Mini. And it goes along with a lot of the products to filter out water. If the filters freeze, it's like if you have a diesel truck. If your filters freeze up and your diesel fuel gums up, it's no good. It's not going to run. It's worthless. The same goes for your filters. If they freeze, they may crack. They'll break down the filtering system inside, and they're useless. And you're going to think that it's filtering out the water when it's not. And you could be digesting bad bacteria, different minerals, and everything else that your body does not need to have inside of it because it can cause a lot of problems. So you have to be very aware of using your Sawyer Mini or any type of filtering system, because if it freezes, you're in trouble. But then after that fact, folks, that's when we move back into whatever else it is that we're going to need. Because, see, we just don't know where this is all going. We don't know when the jobs are going to start dropping off. We don't know when they're going to start raising the interest rates again. And we don't know how high it's going to go. They said they're going to raise them. We don't know if it's going to be a half a point, 3/4 of a point, or a whole point. It all depends on how all these numbers and figures all fall into this whole equation. We still don't know what's going to be going on with the whole food thing that's going on right now. Like I said, I'm going to my Walmart for the first time in 2 months tomorrow. So I'm going to find out what is going on. I'm going in there tomorrow morning, and I want to see what the prices and stuff are in the store and what the store looks like, and see what our egg situation is here because of what I've been seeing reported. And I want to see what prices are. I know that Walmart did have like a lot of their canned vegetables and stuff. They reduced them for the holiday back to 50 cents a can where they were. Now they are all back to 58 cents a can. I know that because I do order online through Walmart and I just have it delivered to my house. So we're going to find out what's going on here. I know the prices at Publix, which is a very high-end store. If you guys don't know what Publix is, but prices in Publix down here, they're skyrocketing. You can get some good deals if you go in at the right times, and sometimes they have some good deals on buy one, get ones. And that's going to be the same at any of your stores that you go to. You shop the BOGOs are your best bet. You have to make sure that you're watching for coupons, any coupons you can get, if you can get them offline, if you get them in the paper, or wherever you get your coupons from, and try to maximize your money. Because let's face it, folks, 2023 is already off to a really bad start. Okay. And the question stands, do you all out there have a plan? Are you planning to be prepared? Because that is my number one goal. My goal this year is try to make sure that everybody that clicks into this channel has the opportunity and the knowledge to be prepared. Now, I can't actually force you to do it, but I can give you the information. I can help you along through videos, through live streams. Once we get the whole members thing up and going, hopefully we can have some more one-on-ones. And maybe, just maybe, if we can help out a few people to turn the leaf and to start being prepared, well, then we succeeded, right? I mean, that's the whole idea of me sitting here or me doing videos, is to make sure that people are aware. I want to make sure that everybody that is out here has that opportunity to secure food and water and supplies for their families just on a chance that the shit hits the fan. Because what can we do more than being prepared? Isn't it better if your kids come to you and they say you're hungry and you say, okay, I can make you something? Or is it better if your kids come to you and they say they're hungry and you have nothing for them? I don't think you want to be at that end of the spectrum of this discussion. I know I wouldn't want to be. That would be a very hard pill to swallow. And that's what I'm trying to avoid on this channel. My goal is to make sure that everybody that clicks in here, everybody that's a member, doesn't matter if you're a member, doesn't matter if you subscribed, every single person that has clicked in here, that clicks in, watches the videos, comments, and everything else, my goal for you is for you and your family to be prepared. You clicking subscribe and like and sharing the videos and everything else, that's just a bonus. You becoming a member, that's just a bonus. You're still going to get my commitment of being prepared. And sometimes I'm going to sound like a broken record because a lot of people need to hear things more than once to get it through their thick skulls of what they need to do. And I know there's quite a few people out there that, you know what? Sometimes you wonder how many times do they have to hear it before they realize, you know what? Maybe I should do something. Just saying. Goes with that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. I'm going to lead you to the water. Your job is to ask yourself if you're going to drink. So I'm going to jump over here. If you guys got any questions or anything, make sure you do throw them in capital letters and everything else. This way here, they pop out a lot better. And let's see what's going on and who's all here. All right, Stuart's prepping. Hey, Stuart, how are you doing? That's all right, Stuart. You're not feeling well. I'm sorry about that. I hope you feel better, man. Hope you feel better. All right. Let's see who all is on here. I see Gina N, Laureen. Let me scroll back up through here. T-Rex is here. All right. Tanya's here. We have JT and Jan, and Coffee First is right down here. There's my moderators, and I don't know where Cassie went. She's around here somewhere. Howdy, folks. Hey, how you doing? Freddie Tweedweedly. All right. Let's see here. I'm trying to read. All right. Just remember, folks, if you got anything you want to ask or talk about, just put it into capital letters. Oh. Tanya says, I was at my mom and pop store and a gentleman was talking to the cashier and he said a neighbor reported him for catching rainwater. He is fined and livid. Oceanside, California. How the heck can they fine you for catching rainwater? It falls from the freaking sky. I don't know how people live in California. I mean, I understand it's beautiful country. I have a brother that lives out there, and he loves it and everything else. But you guys got some really weird, I guess every state does. You have some really weird laws and everything else. But, you know, I mean, because you can actually, I have it at my Amazon storefront. You can buy these collapsible rain catch. All right. So you strain it out and it comes out and it's about the size of a 55-gallon drum. And you can catch your rainwater off your roof. You know, you can filter it, filters through a screen system, and then you got water and it's free. What are they worried? They basically they can't charge you for the water. I mean, wow. Mimosas and wine too. There we go. All right. Let me get back down here. Let's see. All right. Not prepped, but do you know if real estate tax is illegal? If real estate tax is illegal, never heard of it. Everybody pays it. I don't know. I wouldn't try not paying your taxes because more likely from everybody that I know that's done that, they lost their homes. Let's see here. Let's see. They want it in the aquifer so the illegal pot growers can sell it. Well, probably. That's a good point. Don't collect the first 5 minutes due to bird poop. Yes, all coming off the roofs and everything else, and you know, unless you have the money to buy one of those real fancy, filtering systems that run through your gutters and then it drains into um, your barrel or something. But last time I saw one of those, I mean, it was one filter was I think like $600. But I guess if you lived off grid, it'd be one thing. But if you just had it for backup to your home, that's a lot of money to have sitting around. I mean, $600, you can buy a decent, generator or something. Okay, Paul, I do just want Charles's approach. Thanks, man. All right. I've heard some places are putting water meters on private water wells. Wow. I wonder how they can do that. I guess they really want to control everything. Let's see here. Refilled water bottles, wash sanitized, tap water, bigger bottles under half a gallon in bags under my coat by the west wall. You can always boil or use it for other things. This is true. I mean, yeah, you can still use it. You don't have to throw it out. I mean, but if you're not so sure it's going to be safe to drink, that's just something you want to be, very mindful of. I mean, if you do have a Sawyer Mini or some way to filter it, maybe you run it through your filter system, a Big Berkey or something like that. Run it through your filter system, and then take it from there. But by all means, I wouldn't throw it out. Especially in this day and age, water's costing an arm and a leg, and I mean, look what some people are reporting. They're trying to put meters on people's wells. Michelle says, how can I buy a gun if I've never been committed to some for PSTD, borderline personality disorder in New York? How can I buy a gun if I have never been? Well, if you've never been, then you shouldn't have a problem. And unless you're saying you have been, which in that case is going to be very difficult just because of all the rules and regulations that they have nowadays, and with everything that's going on. From Florida, and we store water all year. Yes, so do we. I'm right here in Florida. I'm right here with you, Marie. I mean, it is what it is. There's quite a few people in here that's from Florida, and I'm sure we all store water. Down here we are more prepared for hurricanes and all that, which last 6-7 months out of the year. Just depends on what is going on and how bad the season is. So we always have to be prepared and everything else. And that's something else people really have to think about, is a lot of the stuff that I do and I talk about is for hurricanes. But let me just explain something to you real quick. Every single thing that I talk about, every single video that I do about being hurricane preparedness, take the word hurricane out of it and put in whatever it is that you have to deal with in your area, because that is what it is for. It's not just for hurricanes. It'll do you for blizzards. It'll do you for an ice storm. It'll do you for floods, earthquakes, fires, whatever. The whole idea is I'm talking about what I have to deal with in my area that I live in, which is hurricanes. Now, in the areas some people live in, it's blizzards, it's ice storms, it's snowstorms. Some people have to deal with tornadoes, floods, earthquakes, mudslides, fires. You have to be. Everything that I talk about on this channel covers all these different topics of disasters. And this way here, you have the information. The information's there. So if you see a video or something, it says, because I have like a huge hurricane preparedness playlist. But if you actually go in there and you watch that, besides maybe one or two videos, unless you want to put hurricane shutters up in the wintertime. You know what I'm saying? But What I'm saying is everything that I do and I talk about in those things, guess what? It's going to cover you and whatever type of disaster situation that you are going through as yourself. Johnny says 15 years between the two was enough for me. There you go. California is getting hammered right now. Yeah, they've been getting some some really wicked weather. I tell you what. Brandon R. and tried to buy a long rifle. You don't even have to do a transfer. Manny says, dude, where have you been? Lost in Walmart? Yes, I was. How did you guess? You'd have to go back and watch the beginning of this video, and I explain what has happened to me and my family and where I have been. And we'll just leave it at that one. But I do explain, it's right in the very beginning of the video, folks, if you do want to go back and you want to see. Oh, let's see here. Elon Musk bought Twitter when it was only worth $6 billion. So why did he buy it for $44 billion? Well, why not? It's chump change to him. What's $44 billion? It's nothing. He'll make that back in probably no matter of time. He's still the richest man in the world. And look, he blew $44 million on a Twitter. Go figure. All right, let's see here. I do agree, Pitbull. Everyone needs to be watching these storms coming from the west, one after the other, heading to the east coast. It's like a freight train right now, folks. I mean, these things are just coming in and they're just rolling across. And depending on where that jet stream is landing, is there's been severe weather. You're getting, blizzard conditions. You're getting tremendous amount of snow. Look what it did up in the northeast there. It crippled Buffalo and that whole area there. That last one that came through, that was just unreal. I tell you what, I've never seen anything like that. I don't think they have either. I don't think they want to see it again either. Let me see here. Fluffy Otter says, Pitbull, next weekend we could get hammered. I tell you what, there's a lot of stuff that's going on, and that's why I did the video I did today. It's the beginning of the year, and I think that we really need to get off on a really good start. And I think we're getting there. We just have to make sure that we're doing what we need to be doing. And I had some videos that came out this past week, and it was just on basically all those videos. And there's one more that's going to come out tomorrow afternoon. All right. It's the last one. It's the last part of that series. All right. Everything that I talk about in those videos is all things that can pertain and help and aid you in your own survival in your area. Oh, Cassie's here. Survival preparedness. Nice to see you, Cassie. Hope all is well. Hope everybody is doing fine and feeling well. Johnny says, I used to be married to a hurricane and a tornado. Oh. Cassie also says, I've never stored water, minus having water bottles for drinking water during a storm, etc. Yep, I mean that's good to have, but you could always store your water also, if you have a basement, someplace like that where the temperature is, if you have a basement and the temperature stays at a constant certain temperature, it's dark. It's a great place to store all different types of food, canning food, bottled water, and all this type of stuff. All right, let's see here. Let me go back up here. K-Paul says, Charles, what do you think about prepping for a nuclear event or a CME? Well, a lot of the things that we do prep um, would help you out during a nuclear event or maybe a CME. But unfortunately, it all depends on where you live and how close you're going to be to the blast zone. And see, we just don't know that. I mean, we have all these scientists and everything that state that they believe that there's certain areas that would be hit first. I mean, Washington, D.C., New York, California, these type of areas. Um, it all depends on your money too, because when you start looking into anything that can protect you from radiation in the event of a nuclear event, and that type of stuff on that end, those products get very expensive very fast. Now, acroneal mass ejection, you're dealing with power outages and all this type of stuff. So having some way to protect your gear, your battery banks or something from a CME would be a very good benefit. Now, I don't have anything yet. I have found the fabric and um, I have found the tape and things, so you can start building and maybe covering battery banks, any type of electronics, radios, and this type of stuff. Because if something like that does happen, it would fry a lot of those electronical equipment. That's why a lot of people are a lot of preppers like having one old vehicle from way back when 50s and 60s, because they don't have all the electronics like in these new cars. you know you can buy um, things that will protect your car, but once again, they are very expensive. Any of these type of things for these two different scenarios, the stuff is expensive, folks, if you're going to buy good quality stuff. And if you're looking to survive, and and you're not going to go cheap here. You don't want to put a nuclear radiation suit on and move and it rips and you're done for, and you spent 400 or 500 bucks on it. A good suit is probably going to run you anywhere between $5 and $1,000 for one suit. Then you have to have some way to breathe, so you're going to have the respirator system, or you're going to have oxygen tanks. The best thing is to make sure, if you're really concerned about a nuclear event and this type of stuff, is having some type of a shelter underground. you know People with basements, that's a good starting point. Yeah, it's not a bunker that's built into the ground, but let's face it, folks, we all don't have $500,000 to blow on one of those. That's there for the rich and famous. Um, so you know but it doesn't hurt. I mean, and maybe if you run across some good deals, or you think you find something good or something, and you wanna try to put that into your preps, by all means. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you it's very expensive. And if you really haven't started prepping too much, if you've already covered all your other basics and everything else, and you want to kick it up a notch, go for it. Let's see. That's a good idea. I keep my seeds stored in a shoebox in a dry area inside my house. Yes, you can also, if they are like, if you can vacuum seal them, vacuum pack them, throw in a Marlar bag with an oxygen absorber or whatever else, you can also throw them in your freezer, and that'll actually help to, um, you know, extend the life of your seeds. Fluffy Otter says, if anyone has chickens, many of us are having issues with the TSC Doomer by Purina Chicken Feed. Many of our chickens have stopped laying constantly, nothing to do with the winter or the low sunlight. So it has to do with the chicken feed. Doesn't surprise me. Home Depot has garden seeds out in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Well, start buying them now. I mean, why not? I mean, start if you start seeing seeds in your area, start buying them now. You want to make sure that you're buying. Don't buy non-GMO seeds, folks. All right, Sandy, how you doing? She's from Columbus, Ohio. Used to live right next door in Indiana. That's where I grew up. Tom says, but did you lead me to the right well? Very good. Very good, Tom. It's like nice to know that people are paying attention. And yes, I did read that. I right to the perfect well. All right, let's see here. You're right. People don't care or listen. I have a good friend. I'm nuts. I'm already. I'll sell him can food $100. He's wealthy, so I'll see. Well, there you go. Yep, and there's more storms coming, unfortunately. All right, folks, let's see here. You say, what type of seeds do I need? Well, you could grow a lot of different things in pots on your patio, in your back porch, inside. If you have, maybe you should invest in a fluorescent light bulb. You can grow carrots, you can grow potatoes, you can grow onions, you can grow lettuce, radishes. A lot of these things can be grown in these types of pots. You can buy these bags like what I have. Um, the soil is what's going to cost you the money, but once you buy it, if you use the right type of soils and you use the right type of nutrients, you may be able to get more than one growth season out of that soil. It's all on what you put into that soil. um, and I'd try to rotate it. It's kind of like I grew up in Indiana, all right, and I grew out in the middle of farm country. One year the field in the front of our house would be corn, the field in the back of our house would be soybeans. Next year, the farmer flipped them. We had soybeans in the front and corn in the back. He never planted the same thing twice. So I've kind of learned that lesson throughout my life. You're going to use like a planters or that type of stuff. You never plant stuff in the same area. So if you have tomatoes and all this stuff on this side of your garden, next year put them on the other side of the garden and put everything else over on the other side. If you're doing corn or whatever you're growing, all right, things that could be difficult to grow on like an indoor type thing would be like pole beans, things that grow high, those things would be very difficult. That's stuff you're going to want to do outside, obviously. A lot of like your zucchinis and pumpkins and all that kind of stuff. So anything viney that goes way out, it's not going to really work that well. That's why I like carrots, potatoes, lettuce, and all that. It just kind of grows straight up, and there you go. And then you get a product right out of that. So, all right, let's see. Oh, we're over our time limit here, folks. I haven't been on in a while. So let's see here. Hubby and I went poop collecting in the cow field. We are already putting manure on the garden patches. There you go. I mean, hey, might as well. Get the book of carrots. Love tomatoes. I love tomatoes too. I eat tomatoes every day. All right. Teresa says, I grew small carrots in a cardboard box with soil at the edge of my carport in the sun. Very good, Teresa. Congratulations. You see, folks, it can be done. It just takes us a little time, and she probably had to go out there, water them a little bit, and voila, she had carrots. But you could do it with a lot of different things. Save your money, grow in 20-gallon containers. I'm sorry I didn't start this way, but it's better and cheaper than pots. Yes, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's whatever you have. Because some people have flower pots and this type of stuff. Some people have the the bigger flower pots, and then other people don't. You know, I have the containers, I have the 10 and the 20-gallon containers. They're fabric containers, so I can reuse them year after year. I don't have anything planned right now. I wanted to get something going because down here in Florida, we can grow year round. And if it gets cold, I can just bring them right inside the garage. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, because then you can move them around. You can take them with you. You can do whatever, If you're getting a bad storm, you can bring them in. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. A lot of benefits. She did a live Mrs. Briggs prep channel. And JT brings up a very, very good question here with a problem. I can grow, no problem. It's the bugs and critters that attack right before harvesting. Yep. Unfortunately, don't they all know exactly when things are going to be just ready? It's like they sit there and they watch. When we lived up north, I grew corn, and I watched these squirrels. They would go into the corn and they would go through and they would just kind of like look, and they just keep going right through. And my dad told me, he says, when they start doing that, you got to go out there every day and check that corn. He said, because when it's ready, they're going to know it and it won't be there the next day. So I went through and I beat the suckers to it, and I got my corn before they did. So I did leave them in the ear or two, but hey, they told me when it was ready. But that's the truth. I mean, you gotta deal with, bugs and all this kind of stuff. I mean, there's flowers like marigolds and stuff you can plant like around your tomato plants and stuff. We did that for years. Helps deter a lot of different types of bugs and things of that nature. There's all different types of home, I call them the old style recipes, as far as taking care of bugs and stuff instead of using harmful chemicals and all this kind of stuff. Oh man, the squirrels will rob you blind. Yes, they will. And yes, Pitbull, I do agree. Everybody, please hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. It will help me out a lot, since the algorithm dropped me like a, well, I can't say it, but the algorithm did drop me off because I wasn't on here for a couple of weeks. And it's amazing. You even just missed 1 week on YouTube and it's like you're forgotten. You put a video or something out and they don't push it. And so that's why I asked for everybody's help in trying to secure everything and, help me get this back, as far as, just sharing the videos, hitting the like buttons, watching any of the videos and stuff that come out. Hopefully you're getting notified. If something happens, you're not getting notified or something. Because I did get a few emails. What you should do is just go on my channel, click unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then hit the notification bell again. And it should kick back into the system and get you notifications again, because people were like, they weren't getting notified of any of my videos coming out or nothing. So that's what I have been told by other YouTubers to do. So, and it seems to work. So, we just have to make sure that, everything is on the up and up. We do have a lot of stuff that is coming out. Like I said, the website is up and running right now. We're going to start having newsletters come out. I have somebody that is working on that. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on. The biggest thing for me that I want people to really understand is the fact, the importance of prepping. All right. That is the whole thing that I'm going to be concentrating on doing, is making sure that you people are staying ahead of the game as we start 2023, because it's already started off on a bad note. And I want to make sure that everybody has the ability to have a plan and be prepared, and make sure that you all are doing your part. I want people to be ready. So if something happens, nobody is left in the dark, cold and hungry. You get it? I mean, that's what this is all really, really about. I mean, that's why we prep. It's totally why we prep, is because we do not want to be in that situation. So I would just like to say thank you to everyone for everything that you do for this channel, for all the likes, subscribes, for all the shares, for all the comments, for all the emails. If you guys got anything you guys want to discuss, you don't want to discuss it on here, or maybe you got some pictures of some of the crazy stuff that's going on in your area, email it to me. I've been putting a bunch of them together. There has been people that have been emailing me. I have been working on trying to get that all put together, and I'm going to be doing a video on that with a lot of the different information and everything else. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there, folks. It's 2023, and you know what? We have to get prepared. We have to stick together. Us preppers, we have to stick together, and we have to help each other out, whatever it may be. It's the only way we're going to survive this thing. We can't do it alone. See, that's a misconception. You can't do everything alone. You're going to need help at some point, or you're going to have a question on a certain topic, on how to do something. And that's where communities like this one that we have built, we're over 56,000 subscribers that we have built. And a lot of you have been here since the very beginning. But that's what we're here for, is to help people out. And that's what we're going to continue to do. So I'm Survival Preparedness for Beginners. My name is Charles. I'd like to thank you for everything that you've done for this channel. Like I said before, for all your likes, subscribes, everything that you do for this channel. And I want everybody to make sure that you're staying prepared, you're staying ready. Be mindful. We do have videos coming out this week. We will have my Sunday video comes out tomorrow at noon. I'm letting everybody know in case you don't get notified. All right, we're getting back on schedule now. There'll be a video come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Maybe some bonus videos on Tuesday and Thursday. Rather than that, I want everybody to stay safe. You keep prepping, and you all make sure that whatever you are doing, you're doing it for your family. I'm here to give you the knowledge and the know-how. You have to follow through with the will and it's the word I want, charisma, to make sure that you and your family will survive the storm. And when doing this all together, none of us will be sitting in the dark. So till the next Saturday night, folks, you all have a great week. It's great being back. I miss talking to all you people. I really enjoy my live streams. I'm glad I'm back into the videos, getting that going again. Like I said, check out the website. And we also have podcasts that are out there too. Right on the main page, click the About button all the way at the very end. Scroll down, it's all right there. I'll catch you all on the flip side. And remember, I'd like to thank all my moderators and everything else. JT, Jan, Coffee First and Speak, and Cassie. Thank you for everything that you do, keeping me and keeping this channel in line and moving forward, because that's the only way we know to go as preppers, is forward. See you next Saturday.